Before we get started on this next video, a warning. And this warning pertains to the time this video was uploaded, so if you're watching this later, feel free to just skip this. But basically, yes, it seems the inevitable has happened. Someone has apparently got their hands on a copy of Pokemon X and Y and is now leaking the entire game. Now, I, for one, kind of wanted to experience the game blind, so I haven't looked at any of the details. The problem is, people are obviously going to start posting details of the leaks everywhere, and very soon it's going to be all over the internet, so it's going to be quite difficult to keep yourself from being spoiled. So I urge you all, out of respect for keeping the game unspoiled until the 12th, please just respect those who don't want their experience spoiled and don't post anything relating to these leaks until then. It's actually more than just a courtesy thing, because some websites in the past have actually been slapped with a cease and desist by Nintendo themselves just for posting leaks. It happened back with Black and White in 2010, so yeah, posting leaks is actually kind of a big risk to you. It's not just a courtesy thing. You could very well get cease and desisted by Nintendo, so you don't want that happening. But anyway, that's pretty much all I need to say, except for another update. Sadly, it seems like the hopes of me getting my modded 3DS back by the release of X and Y is looking very, very grim. Currently, I haven't really moved even maybe like one spot since the last time I updated about this, and it seems like there have been people who ordered much earlier than me who are still only quite late in the queue. Unless there's some big blitz just before the release date or something. Again, it'll take me... My DS took me about 10 days to reach the guy for modding, so it'll probably take over a week for me to get back even when he sends it. So the sad thing is, I really don't think I'm going to get my thing back before then, which means my plans of doing a blind run of the game might be just about gone. I mean, there is still hope. If some miracle happens, I might get it in time. Just saying, don't get your hopes up. I'm probably not going to. So, that's a real shame. But, yeah. The thing is, I probably don't want to hold back on playing the copy of my copy of the game until I get my recording device, because seriously, one, it's too hard to remain unspoiled, and two, I would just really want to play the game, so... As a possible best-case scenario, precautionary measure, maybe you could expect to see a sort of blind playthrough where I've already done, like, the first few gyms or something, but I don't know anything else after that, and then I start a new game in this version, and the first bits of stuff I've already done before, and then we get into new territory, so it'll sort of be a half-blind playthrough. That's probably the best you can hope for at this point, unless a miracle happens. So, anyway, I guess I should get on with the main show here. Last time, we received a mysterious MacGuffin of our own, and supposedly it has the ability to summon a powerful legendary. Unfortunately, we don't really know how to use it. The only one who can is over on an Opelucid City. As it turns out, they happen to be the next gym leader, so we're going to need to visit them anyway. So, this time, we'll be heading on over, finally some new territory, into the next area, Opelucid City. Well, actually, we'll be kind of getting stuck on the road to Opelucid City at this point. Now, I'm pretty sure you actually can explore the next route that's coming up freely, even before beating Bryson, but you won't be able to actually get across the bridge to Opelucid City then. Now, as you can see, Darmanitan, the one I caught over at the ruins, once again, let me remind you, in order to catch the Darmanitan, and this is the only way you'll be getting a Darmanitan in this kind of challenge, because you can't evolve Darumaka. Anyway, here's Darmame, I caught him over in the ruins. Unfortunately, it knows no attacking moves whatsoever. Fortunately, we just happened to find a perfect attacking move, TM, over there, so we'll be using that. But I'm going to have to restructure my team a little bit. Like I was saying, though, about the Darmanitan. you'll only be able to catch that if you get a Rage Candy Bar, which you'll only be able to get if you can access Opelucid City in winter. So, yeah, it's actually kind of annoying, but Darmanitan is a very strong Pokemon. The only problem is, the only legitimately available Darmanitan in this challenge is stuck with Zen mode as an ability, which actually isn't the best one for in-game play. I would much rather Sheer Force. I mean, seriously, Sheer Force boosts the power of Flare Blitz. It's that ridiculous. Sheer Force also has some weird glitches involving after-turn effects like Life Orb damage, but I probably will end up talking about that later because it's not like it's going to be affecting me at this point. Not like I can even get a Life Orb even if I wanted to. So I kind of want to put Darmanitan in the party because, you know, again, remember just how well, yeah, probably sadly might be time to retire Brohoof. He's been awesome though. So this might be the first time ever in the challenge where every single Pokemon I'm using is actually fully evolved. So we have Crackle the Druddigon here. Wait, likes to thrash about? Okay, don't get too excited. This thing might not have a perfect attack IV. I've seen things that don't, but there is a possibility. So that's interesting. Unfortunately, the IV Judge doesn't actually show up until after you've beaten the Elite Four, so yeah, can't really do that. But anyway, joining us, we've also got, yeah, Titania the Darmanitan, Darmanitan, Polar the Beartic, and Mini's Hurried is still in the party because Hypnosis is really helpful, and we've also got Hermie the Fourth in there, because, well, I do kind of like him. Anyway, I think it's about time we head on out to our next destination. So you may want to sell any ores or other valuables to the Ore Maniac before you go, because you won't be finding prices like this in any other city, I'll tell you that. So, yeah, it's, again, pretty much about time to get going, but before that, let's work with some TMs here. In particular, the one we need here is Shadow Claw could be helpful for... well, I guess some things. I guess Polar can learn it. I've already got probably as much use out of Frost Breath as I am getting in this challenge, because really, there is very few things that can learn this. I believe, yes, Frost Breath is one of the rare TM exclusive moves. No Pokemon at all learns the move by level up, you can only access it via TM. There used to be a lot of moves like that, but eventually in later generations all of them tend to get given to Pokemon by level up. But anyway, just checking what can learn various TMs, and seriously, Druddigon can't learn Brick Break, really? I guess Titania and Polar could be able to use it reasonably well. Let's see what Polar has I can get rid of. Actually, wow, Polar certainly is in need of a better moveset. Fortunately, it can actually learn quite a few of the TMs I have. Yeah, Flail is not very useful without Endure or Sturdy or what have you, so yeah. Want to get rid of that. So, Brick Break is probably a pretty good substitute for something like Superpower. Can anything I have learn Reflect? Reflect is a move I am really going to have to rely on much later in the game, but for the time being, it's not seeing a lot of use. Oh, believe me, that's going to change. Now, the reason why I'm going for Fire Blast here is this is the main... Seriously? Crackle cannot learn Fire Blast? Really? Wow, Druddigon, you are not really helping your case here. And you might notice here that, yes, Darmanitan already has Flare Blitz, which is just freaking ridiculous. A 120 power move at level 35, that's just insane. And I'm giving it Fire Blast too, mainly because it, so that it has something to use while in Zen mode. Something I forgot to mention about Zen mode in the last part is that Darmanitan actually changes types. Well, more accurately, it gains the Psychic typing, making it one of only two Psychic type, Fire Psychic type Pokemon, the other being Victini. Of course, Gen 6 might change this if the rumors are true. Might. I'm really hoping for it. I seriously hope that it's going to end up being Fire Psychic, the Fennekin's final form, because if it's not, Game Freak's got some spleen into it. Well, actually, if it's Fire Fighting, again, Game Freak's got some serious spleen to do. See, here's the thing, all of these moves are actually pretty decent, so, I might not even need Bulldoze. I kinda like to keep Chip Away on there just in case my opponents like to use defensive moves. Bulldoze, however, is probably quite a good move for Polar to use. Because I don't really need Swagger, so buy Swagger. And hello, Bulldoze. And anything else I can use here? Flash Cow. I don't think anything I have can learn that. What I really need to do, though, is to teach Koffagriga's Shadow Ball, because otherwise it has no attacking moves whatsoever. And I, for one, it really bugs me when I have a Pokemon with no attacking moves at all, because it's just, it leaves you completely screwed against anything with Taunt, and that just bugs me. I hate having that. And also, when you have no means of dealing damage at all, and it's your last Pokemon, well, you're screwed. So, yeah, that's the other reason why I don't like that. So, no matter how pathetic their attack... Well, actually, I do make exceptions in the cases of some things like Shuckle. But even Umbreon, I'd like to put at least Payback or Sucker Punch or something on it. Anything defensive, I put at least one attacking move on there. You know, just to make sure that, again, I am not totally screwed if I'm reduced to my last Pokemon. Just noticed a whole lot of my team is kind of slow but physically powerful. But, yes, I believe it's here that I remembered about, or not. Sorry, I recorded this a long time ago, I can't quite remember what I was trying to use here, but I believe, yes, I finally remembered Shadow Ball. Yeah, must teach this now, and for some really weird reason, Watchhold can learn Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball's an interesting move because it used to be physical back in 3rd gen, and back then it was a really popular staple for offensive, like, physical sweepers. And, yeah, it eventually became a staple for special sweepers, mostly psychic types who like something to damage ghosts. But, most ghosts love it for stab. The only ghost type that didn't like the fact that Ghost, wasn't physical anymore was, Shadow Ball was Banette, and... See, it's interesting, they introduced Shadow Claw in a later generation as kind of an answer to that previously physical Shadow Ball. For some reason, though, it's never been as popular as Shadow Ball was back in its heyday. Not really sure why, you'd think it would be. Again, like back in the day, you'd see things like Metachan, Zangoose, Slacking, they'd all use Shadow Ball. Kinda weird, like, you know, looking back, you'd think it's just downright bizarre to see a move like that being, you know, a major physical move, but it was, that's just how things went back then. Dragon Claw was special too, which kind of hurt a lot of Dragon types. Good for Charizard though, although in that case, basically every Pokemon that liked using the special version of Dragon Claw really appreciated Dragon Pulse, so nothing much changed in that department. They didn't really lose anything. So, I think now it's finally time for me to stop stalling and actually head on out of this city, finally. We've seen this place in 2 different seasons, and I guess it's kind of a nice place, but now it's time to bid our farewells. Onward to Opelucid City. After a slog through Route 8. Now, just like in Icarus City, these puddles contain wild Pokemon. This is, basically a marshland route. And it was done a hell of a lot better than the damn Great Marsh in Notorious City, the Double Purr! Yeah, I was not a fan of that place at all. Really not a fan. But anyway, being a sort of swampy wetland area, this place is abundant in nature, and due to this, it's also abundant in Carmen Sandiego and her evil minions. Oh yeah, we experienced that a few episodes ago. So yeah, in winter, just like in Icarus City, all the water here will be frozen over and you'll have to deal with ice puzzles. It will affect what it doesn't really affect what areas of the route are accessible. It's not like Icarus City where there's quite a lot of places you... Oh boy, I'm so sorry, but this matchup is really not good for you. You know, I'm gonna take it easy on you and use Hammer Arm, it's gonna KO you anyway. Seriously. Yeah, one thing to watch with Hammer Arm is that it will lower your own speed. Okay, this is a much less favourable matchup for Titania, but I can go out to something that's a little more favourable. You know what, might as well give Crackle a use. Dragon does resist water, after all. Dragon resists a whole lot of types, but, yeah, it suffers from weaknesses to itself and ice, which most of them are balanced out by, its weaknesses being fairly decent types, and most quite likely to knock them out easily. But, Dradagon is one of the few pure dragons, so at least it's not double weak to ice. Of course, this thing can tend to stall itself. And Dragon Claw, let's see how much this does. Quite a lot, actually. Yeah. The new physical dragon, physical since Gen 4, Dragon Claw is pretty useful. Oh, please don't lower my accuracy. Yeah, I guess the one thing I probably dislike about the Pokemon series is that. It always has this tendency to... Oh, great, I have a feeling I know what's coming here. Yeah, I have a feeling I actually remember this battle, so, yeah. Oh yeah, here we go. Please don't raise evasion, please don't raise evasion, please don't raise evasion, please don't raise evasion, please don't raise evasion. And it rose evasion! Fortunately I took it down though. That could have got really, really ugly fast. Yeah, I don't think we've seen Acupressure before. Acupressure is a very unique move. It's quite unreliable, but it can be kind of useful in the right circumstances. The main interesting thing about Acupressure is that in a double battle or triple battle, you're actually allowed to target your partner with the move as well as yourself. Which can be kind of interesting. Now, I'm not sure if it can target opponents. It would be kind of interesting if you could target an opponent with Contrary with Acupressure. It'd be incredibly situational, but still. And, like often, we find the team of Sludge Bomb in a marshy area. So, that's useful. Sludge Bomb is, well, poison is not the best attacking type. Believe me, that will change in 6th gen. But for the time being, it's only super effective against grass, and if you want to hit grass types, there are much, much better moves for the job. Generally speaking, poison is only useful if it gets stab at the moment. There are some Pokemon that kind of like to use poison stab, but for the most part, they're really not that common. And most of the popular poison types are only useful for having other typings, like Crobat being flying, Roserade and Venusaur being grass, Gengar having levitate. You get the idea. Hopefully poison types will see a bit of a rise in 6th gen. Hopefully. But I mean, Dark and Steel did do a very good job of balancing Psychic, so it's not like Game Freak hasn't had a good track record with time balancing in the past. Yeah, it was only when the physical special split happened, the move split happened, and, yeah, and all those dragon types started getting more and more overpowered, and they started adding more and more things, like making Outrage 120 power, and giving, you know, everything Draco Meteor. The dragons really started getting a little out of hand. But, you know, to be honest, I don't think anything is quite as broken and deserving of nerfing as Stealth Rock. Although, seeing as the main competitive environments are, double battles where it's not used very much, I wonder whether Game Freak doesn't actually consider Stealth Rock something they need to balance, because it's only really broken in an environment that's only played outside of the official games on battle simulators. Because really, outside of 6 versus 6 full team battles, which actually aren't as common as most people think, they're really only done on simulators. Outside of that, Stealth Rock isn't as useful. It's still pretty horribly broken in the fact that it reduces... Okay, don't use Hammer Arm, that would have been stupid. It's easy to forget this thing is actually part Ghost, but it is. But yeah, losing 50% of your health to Stealth Rock is still kind of broken, but it's not used nearly as often as it is. Don't confuse, please don't confuse, don't confuse, don't confuse, don't confuse, don't confuse. Yes, finally, something went my way. course, speaking of this thing being ghost type... Om nom 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 nom. And goodbye. And... Ducklet. Yeah, this shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, oh, it's still early in this part, and I'm already running out of things to say, but, yeah. I also wonder if, because since the games are made in Japan, Game Freak would obviously only take the Japanese metagame into account when trying to balance the game. And Japan's metagame is a little bit different to the Smogon one. For one, Cresselia, I believe, actually got banned, even in singles at one point. Whereas it's always been in quite low tier in Smogon, so there are differences. And again, I wonder if Japanese players just don't use Stealth Rock that often, and because of that, Game Freak doesn't consider it something, you know, they should really balance. Now, here's something kind of interesting about this route. If we head this way, we have a bit of a diversion. There's a small area up here that leads into a completely new place, but first, we have to battle Carmen Sandiego once again. Oh, what definitely not stolen Pokemon is she going to use this time? Let's see. Chinchino, eh? Well, I guess I can just hammer on that thing. He is probably going to hit me first, though. I've actually been... Oh, boy. Oh, phew, missed. I've actually been almost quite badly demolished by a Chinchino once in a tournament. I mean, yeah, this thing just loves to abuse multi-hitting moves with Skill Link. You know, Bullet Seed, Tail Sweep, Rock Blast. Gets really, really annoying. Pecha Berry. This isn't really an area where most things are using Paralysis, so it's not actually going to be that useful. And you can choose your favourite places to steal. Yeah, because you're probably going to steal this entire route eventually, aren't you? So if we head in here, we have access to a rather odd side area called the Moor of Icarus. Surprisingly epic name. It kind of reminds me of Shakespeare's Othello in a way. Just purely from its title. But the wild Pokemon you find here are pretty much the exact same wild Pokemon you find on the route outside, so there's nothing much new in terms of encounters, and there are a few trainers to battle here and a few items to pick up, but other than that, this place is mostly just a random off-the-beaten path area. See, I'm using a Repel right here just because there's nothing much interesting to find. There are, however, some items we can pick up, and that's really the main reason we're going here. That and I kind of want to show off this place. There's not really much to show off, to be honest, though. It's actually kind of... It's kind of strange. It's one of these random side areas that doesn't really serve all that much purpose. Except that if you are... I'm just trying to avoid... No! Carmen saw me again. How'd you get all the way over here? Oh, whatever. Let's just get this battle over and done with. I see you've changed your alias, but that won't, that won't prevent me from suspecting you. And, oh, really? Oh, they just love to spam the most irritating Pokemon, don't they? Ugh, really, really annoying now. See, as much as I would really love to drop an Icicle on this thing's head, it's probably going to outspeed me and Volt Switch out or Double Team before I have a chance to do anything, so... First, I'm just going to... Light Screen, eh? That's... strange choice of moves. Wonder if these things have leveled up to the point where they've kind of forgotten Double Team. But, anyway. Still using Shockwave, huh? I'm sorry, but 60 base power moves aren't really going to cut it at this point in the game. And, okay, good. I thought it survived by like 1 HP then. And Alola Mola, interesting. So, who wants to go up against this? I guess I'll send Crackle in there. Though, this thing's not really that much of an offensive powerhouse. It's more of a, it's got a huge amount of HP and it loves to pass Wish on to its teammates. But of course, since the AI is too stupid to abuse that strategy, that's not really going to be happening. Wake Up Slap? Really? That's an odd move. And yes, rough skin will cause damage every time I make physical contact. Something interesting about rough skin that I did not realise until quite recently. The Iron Barb's ability is actually the exact same as rough skin, just with a different name. I actually didn't know this for a long time, so that was strange. I guess, like, the Pokemon that are actually given rough skin as an ability, yeah. Most of them have not that particularly great defenses, so none of them can really make the best use of it. However, Ferrothorn really can make use of its rough skin equivalent, so I guess we kind of got a decent abuser of it. And another Maractus. Oh boy, this thing's going to use either Acupressure or Teeter Dance. Does the thing get Teeter Dance? I'm pretty sure it does get Teeter Dance, or am I thinking too much of Wooligan there? Anyway, yep, Acupressure, don't raise evasion, 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 don't raise evasion. Oh, speed. That's not going to matter when you're going to go down really quickly, but anyway. Planting Roots isn't going to save you from this. 8 Flare Blitz! And the animation on Flare Blitz is a whole lot more flashy in the sequels than it is here. But at the very least, it does do massive damage. Of course, you tend to take massive damage yourself, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make, because seriously, this power is insane. Okay, Citrus Berry is, I don't want to be friends with you, Carmen Sandiego, but Citrus Berry is very useful. And we get, Max Revive. Anything else? Now that guy looks like a fisherman who'll battle you, so I'll just dodge him for the time being. And we've made a full loop around. There is a little more to this place that we can see though, and we've lost our repel effect. Oh well, time to use another one. Yeah, apologies in advance for this episode not being too eventful. I guess we kinda need a bit of a breather from the plot-heavy episodes of the last two. So I guess consider this the obligatory breather. And yes, you will be needing to use a whole lot of healing items if you're using moves like Flare Blitz, because you are really going to run out your own HP with things like that. At least not as quickly as you will using Rampardo's Head Smash. Yeah. Though I still love abusing Head Smash on Aggron. Rockhead. Probably the best use of Rockhead I've ever seen. And I would really like to give Polar a chance to do something, but not against Shelmet. Shelmet and Carablast are both pretty easily obtainable in these versions, but in Black and White 2, you've got weird things where one of them is more common in one version and the other is more common in the other. Sort of quasi-version exclusives. As in, they're kind of like Canopy and Weedle back in Gold and Silver, where one of them is extremely rare outside of bug catching contests, and the other one is very common. But you can still technically get both in the same version, and if you had used a level 37 Vanillish, I would have got very, very angry. But I do have Brick Break, or I could use Bulldoze to put its speed on more of an equal footing with me, but I'll just go for the Brick Break. Bulldoze is going to be kind of helpful for Beartic because it's not really the fastest of Pokemons, but it is pretty powerful. So I'll Bulldoze and then bring them down to my speed level and then start hitting them with, yeah, Mirror Shot. Is that the one that's, oh no, that's Magnet Bomb. Mirror Shot, I believe, is a special move. Less than perfect accuracy, but ironically can also lower the opponent's accuracy. I keep getting Mirror Shot and Magnet Bomb mixed up. Both of them are steel moves, and neither of them are particularly good. Magnet Bomb would be so much more useful if it wasn't physical. Seriously, what was Game Freak thinking when they made that move physical? Just about everything that learns it is more based in special moves. And is this the first Fracture we've seen? Yeah, basically Fracture is the evolved form of Axiom. But it is a Dragon type. We are using an Ice type, so Icicle time! See, that's what you get for messing with a polar bear. Icicle in your head. Yes, you do not know that icicles in your head are generally bad for your health. Just a tad. Another Citrus Berry, always useful. You know, if you want to research the Pokemon that live around here, you should probably just go outside the route and research those ones. They're pretty much the exact same. It's always weird when they just put a new area just to give it the exact same encounter list as a different area, but I guess it's alright. Now, I believe there is a certain part of this route where, if you have an event Keldeo, you can bring it here with the other 3 Musketeers in your party and they'll teach it the move Secret Sword. So, that's kind of the main use of this. I believe in the backstory, this place used to be the homeland of the, of either the 3 or of Keldeo, and it was destroyed by a fire once, or something like that. See, it's kind of a shame. When I read that this place had such a cool-sounding name, I expected a whole lot more from it, but as it turns out, it's kind of a boring area. Again, though, this changes if you have the event Musketeers, but then they went ahead and when they finally distributed the Keldeo event, by that time, Black and White 2 were already out, and they gave Keldeo a separate Secret Sword learning event that doesn't require any of the other Musketeers and uses a totally different location, so... Sadly, by the time Keldeo was finally available, probably there was no reason to even see the event over at this place, which is, again, sad. Let's grab ourselves an Ultra Ball. Yeah, this is an area you need a few HM moves to get through, but not Surf. You can just go around the side of that water. You do need Strength to get in here, though, and there is a trainer in here. I'd think that there'd be more to this place than just Carbos, though, but anyway, looks like that's pretty much everything you can find here. There's a Parasol Lady, but it doesn't really look like there's much else here, so I guess we should just head on out, really. It's kind of... yeah. I actually had to cut a bit of footage there because I spent a little while wandering around this area just hoping that there was at least something more that made going there worthwhile, but not really. But oh well, I like to show off every side area, so I guess I'm doing that. Now, why'd the sign feel the need to add an extra sound effect there? But anyway, talking to this person reveals that she's not a trainer and she's in fact giving out the TM for Facade. This is mainly known for being Norman's signature move back in Generation 3. Basically, it's a move that, I know there's one Parasol Lady here who will give you free, weather lengthening stones, but I'm pretty sure, is this one the one? Okay, wow, that is incredibly trollish. Turns out this one is actually a trainer, but, she won't battle you on sight. You'll actually have to talk to her. That's actually a serious troll move on Game Freak's part, because she's positioned right in the middle of 2 Parasol Ladies who actually aren't trainers and will give you items if you talk to them. And they must have made her not have that sight behavior, because they're like, oh look, they'll think, oh look, 2 Parasol Ladies I've got items from, maybe the 3rd one will give me an item. Haha, no, battle time! Seriously, this lady is such a troll, and... speaking of trolls, she just got rid of my stab on Dragon Claw just because she can. Soak is a very, very odd move. It completely changes the target's type into water. It's got some interesting applications, such as using it on a Shedinja to give it far less weaknesses. That's really the main thing I've seen it used for, but it can be used simply just to kill the stab on certain Pokemon, or just get rid of resistances or things like that. It's kind of an interesting move, and I'm surprised that, I'm really surprised that no one really, makes a lot of use of it, because it does have interesting applications. Again, in-game trainers usually use it as a troll move just to get rid of your stab, and I need to go heal because there's something at the end of this route that I will probably want to be healed up for. Yeah, fair warning. Be prepared for a battle once you approach the end. Yeah, you wouldn't think, we've gone quite some time without another, one of these. And remember I said before there was one of these generally after every gym, except the second? Well, chances are you probably know what I'm talking about by now, so let's head on over there. And I lost my repel, and I really want to put it back up again because I'm just sick and tired of running into wild Pokemon in swampy areas. Just nothing much here I can actually use, so yes, before you head on over into that little entrance there, yeah, you might want to be ready for something. But first we can talk to this parasol lady here. So she's the one who gives you free rocks. Thanks for the pun. Do you work for 4Kids by any chance? So we got the icy rock. This one lengthens hail. These aren't really all that useful when this generation has a permanent weather setter for every weather, but they're still useful. And right before you enter, yep, we've got a long time without another rival battle, so here we go. This one might surprise you a little. So, Bianca's once again doing a bit of soul searching. I do kind of like that rivals get character development, but interesting career choices there. Although, if you do become like Alessa, please don't take after her example and use really irritating emolgas. That would be annoying. But here we go. It's time for Bianca once again. So yeah, she'll be our post-gym battle this time. And after we've gone through a whole lot of team plasma, will she pose a challenge? Well, she's got a Stoutland now. Did she have Stoutland before or not? I can't remember. I sort of lose track. But I put Titania out in the front just because I wanted to see if I could hammer up this thing. Unfortunately, Intimidate is kind of going to be a problem. I might not 1-hit KO. Wow, really? I'm short of even a 2-hit KO. That's really surprising. Oh, and this thing's already starting to use Work Up. We know back from the first gym just how deadly that can be. Unfortunately, it doesn't really have all that much to abuse the special side with. There aren't many Pokemon that can sort of mix Sweep with Work Up. I believe Lucario can do it. I think Hydreigon can as well. There's very few, let's just say. But yeah, short of even a 2-hit KO, and my speed just keeps going down. Hammer Arm can be useful on Trick Room teams since, well, you know, you'll be lowering your speed to actually help you strike first. Of course, it could end up screwing you over if Trick Room wears off at an inopportune moment. Wow, I'm seriously doing almost the same amount of damage as I am. Oh boy. Okay, that's only 70 power, but... And, yep, Belly Drum fails. And I'm now... I really don't know, sweet into Zen mode. I couldn't think of a verb there. So I'm in Zen mode now, and that's very bad because I just don't have enough HP to actually abuse that, and my speed will now be even lower. So getting out of there, and hey, your AI is actually kind of smart if you know, oh look, he's weak to Crunch now, use that. Let's see if I can set up pure evilness, and oh boy, wow, this thing's... Yikes! What is it with these dogs? Where's Dan when you need him? I can't send Damame in because he'll get crunched, so, I guess Crackle has to do this. Let's just really hope that I can, ooh, I have a plan! You're retaliating? Well, I've got something for you. It's time for some revenge. I can't even... I really can't even laugh well. I just can't. So I'm gonna stop doing it. But anyway, wow, and holy crap, Bianca just sent out Samurott. Yes, Bianca, actually, unlike Cheren, you'd think Cheren would be since he's the more competitive of your two rivals, but Bianca is in fact the first one to fully evolve their starter. So congratulations, Bianca, you've officially beaten A and Brendan. Worst rivals ever. So, fortunately, I don't think this one has any ice moves. Usually, Samurotts are packing Ice Beam, but this one isn't. And critical hit, wow. Oh, wow! Cycle of revenge, literally. Right back at me, and this is not going to KO me, and oh, not quite, and you're going to heal, aren't you? Yep, full restore, obviously. Samurott is such a cool Pokemon, though. It just looks really awesome, and has such an awesome concept, the fact that those things in its forelegs are actually swords that it pulls out of the sheaths. Which is actually pretty cool. Unfortunately, you'll never actually get to see them used like that. I really hope that in X and Y, Samurott's 3D sprite will finally show it actually using those things. Certainly does in Pokédex 3D, but yeah. Samurott was the main reason why I always wanted a PBR-style game for this generation. I just really wanted to see it actually use those swords. Unfortunately, Samurott leaves a lot to be desired stat-wise, but I used it a while back in a Tailwind team in doubles. It's actually pretty good in double battles, So yeah, and wow, you are gonna end up rough skinning yourself to death. I never thought that would happen. What have you got next? Okay, Mishana's pretty much the same as it was before. Oh, but it's forewarned itself to the fact that I have Crunch, which will make this much easier. Hopefully. Okay, no critical hits allowed. That's probably still not going to stop me, so that's fine. Crunch you again. That's probably not going to save you. I guess comboing Lucky Chant with Defense Curl is kind of good because it means that they can't get a critical hit and ignore all your defense boosts. But still, you're gone anyway. And I believe you still have your monkey left. Yes, you do. Simisear is out. And I don't have a water type to take you on with, but I still resist fire. And for some reason, just about every single Simisear used by an AI trainer seems to think that Flame Burst is like the best fire move ever, when it's actually really, really pathetic. Wow, that's surprisingly sad, Bianca. Wow, is she thinking of joining Team Plasma? That would be an interesting plot twist, but, yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. But I guess we both tried, yeah, it's just sort of hard. Oh yeah, another... Bianca, your last gift was so much better. Just a single full restore, really? That's kind of underwhelming. Although I don't think you can buy those just yet. I guess that's one way of putting it. Stop Team Plasma because I'm an NPC trainer and I can't do anything about threats like that. Truth and ideals, you know, theme of the game and all that. Wait, you want to help me relax by throwing me into a battle with a level 40 fully evolved starter? That might not be the best method of relaxation. But anyway, after that battle, next time, we will be going over the bridge towards Opelucid City. So, see you then.